Hello, and welcome to episode of Todd Talks when Todd Talks to people. Listen, Kamehameha. Hopefully. And today, we are doing a preview that I never thought I would get to do. A preview for a matchup that is infinitely intertwined with Death Battle. We are doing a preview for Goku versus Superman. Yes, this is the matchup that so many of us have endlessly debated over the years. I actually never did until Death Battle happened, and then I actually got into these debates because people just didn't understand how strong Superman or Goku really was. And so I watched the first one after I got into my Death Battle fix, which was after the first episode aired. And then I remember the preview for Goku vs. Superman. I remember the premiere for Goku vs. Superman 2 because I was at SGC, and it was good, not the best, but good. And if you recall the Death Battle top 10 list I made, I put Goku vs. Superman 1 and 2 together at the number 2 slot because it's some of the most important Death Battles they've ever done, and easily some of the most watched Death Battles. In fact, it is the most watched Death Battle, number 1 and number 2. So here we are, 10 years after the original premiered, and we are doing a third one. Why? Because Death Battle has heavily changed over the years, from the first one to the second one to now. The rules have changed, the concept has changed in certain ways, and it's time to settle it. Even they said this is the definitive battle. This is not a three-peat, a threequel, or whatever. This is the definitive battle of Goku versus Superman. And I get to preview it. So, shall we begin? Our tale begins on the planet Vegeta. First of all, I am Vegeta. Second of all, you're not Vegeta. No. I appreciate anyone who gets that reference. On planet Vegeta, where the Saiyans, a mighty warrior race, were in the command of Frieza, who you might recall from earlier in this Death Battle season. And I correctly picked to win this Death Battle. His Death Battle. One of those Saiyans was named Braddock, and Braddock had a son, multiple sons actually, and he could just tell that something was wrong. He could tell that there was something going on with Frieza, and he just wanted to make sure that his lineage continued and his son lived. Now, one of his sons, Raditz, was already off planet, but his other son, Kakarot, was not. So he sent him away in a pod, promising to get him later if nothing happened with Frieza, which, if you saw the Broly movie, the canon Broly movie, that was indeed his intention. But then Frieza blew up the planet, and as Braddock said, my son lives. And Kakarot was not meant to be the savior of the universe many times over, but that's exactly what he became. But it didn't start that way. No. Because he would crash land on Earth, and he would be found by the martial artist Gohan. And he adopted Kakarot because he did not realize what he was or wasn't, and at first it didn't go well because his Saiyan nature made him rather aggressive. But after a bonk on the head, because anime, he would name him Son Goku and would raise him as his own. And this would lead to him being taught martial arts, something that would become intertwined with his life forevermore. Eventually, the young Goku would meet a young Bulma, who would lead him to Master Roshi, where he learned Kame-sen and Ryu, or the Turtle School. And it was here that his powers really started to manifest. He had supernatural strength, endurance, speed. He could mimic key techniques like the Kamehameha after one go, and so on and so forth. And almost single-handedly, he would take on so many dangerous threats throughout his time that he became one of the greatest fighters in the world. He took down the Red Ribbon Army, the original version of the Red Ribbon Army, basically all by himself. He took on assassins. He took on other key fighters like Tien. He even fought Piccolo. Not our Piccolo, okay? I'm talking about King Piccolo, all right? Because if you recall, King Piccolo birthed our Piccolo by shooting an egg out of his mouth. That's canon. Somehow. It's really weird. But eventually, as Goku got older, his drive to get stronger kept manifesting. So he uh, kept training with people like Roshi, like Korin, kept training with Krillin and his other friends and Piccolo, and eventually he became an adult. And this is where his journey really came together. No, not because he married Chi-Chi. I forgot Chi-Chi in a death battle. Who would she fight? But no, eventually he would find out that he was not alone in this universe because the Saiyans showed up. And yes, I'm going to speed this along, but I wanted to hit the high points, all right? After he met Vegeta and Nappa, his journeys escalated into a way that pushed him to even greater heights and feats of power. He trained with King Kai and learned Kaioken. He pushed his Saiyan abilities to the max. He then went and fought Frieza and became the legendary Super Saiyan. He fought Majin Buu and became a fought Cell, became Super Saiyan 2, then fought Buu and became Super Saiyan 3. And eventually, after helping defeat Cell and Buu and Frieza and everyone else that came their way, he lived his life in peace until Dragon Ball GT came along. Dragon Ball GT. No, we're not talking about that. Although, ironically, they did in the first one, because that was still canon back then. No, I'm talking, of course, about Dragon Ball Super. And this is where things, once again, get that next level. Because this is about the power of gods. Like, actual gods. Because before, we didn't really deal with gods. We dealt with the Kais. We dealt with the Grand Kai, the Supreme Kais. But we never dealt with actual gods until we met Lord Beerus, the god of destruction, who I also correctly predicted will win his death battle. It's interesting who does and doesn't win in Dragon Ball. I'm just saying, okay, all right, it's all right there. But he would learn to, through a wish, actually, from the Dragon Shenron and the combined powers of all the Saiyans that were around him, including the young Pan in Videl's womb. That sounded dirtier than I intended. He was able to become a Super Saiyan God. And then, through training with Beerus and Whis, he became a Super Saiyan God. Super Saiyan, now known as Super Saiyan Blue. And this put him on par with beings of the multiverse, alright? Because Dragon Ball has a multiverse. Because of course they do. I mean, my gosh, oh my gosh. And this led him to becoming one of the more powerful fighters, especially as he mixed Super Saiyan Blue with Kaioken and became even stronger. And he was vital in the Tournament of Power arc, where he unlocked Ultra Instinct. Oh yeah. This is the peak form for him in many, many ways, because this is where he fights not as an active combatant, but as a reactor. Much like Whis in the training sessions, Whis never needed to hit everybody because he could just dodge all their attacks and strike them when they weren't realizing. And that is the power of Ultra Instinct. Now, the problem here is that, especially even now in the manga, the main canon manga, Goku has not fully mastered Ultra Instinct. He has mastered a form of it, but it's even said that the true form he has not mastered in full, and he cannot summon at will. However, he has mastered his own version of it, which lets him take on more damage while also dishing out more and having a faster reaction speed than he's ever had. And because of this, he has achieved incredible feats alongside his other powers, including Ki Blast, Ki Manipulation, Flight, Telekinesis, Instant Transmission, and so much more. I'm not going to get into all the key techniques. You all know the key techniques by now, okay? And this has helped him defeat numerous enemies, not the least of which is in the Tournament of Power, where he fought alongside Vegeta, Piccolo, Gohan, Android 18 Krillin, Master Roshi, and I think that's it, for the survival of the entire multiverse. Because if there's one thing Goku will always somehow finds himself in, it's something that will destroy the universe if he doesn't come out on top. And technically he did. He did come out on top. He helped his universe, Universe 7, achieve victory in the Tournament of Power and return the multiverse to its previous state. Go team. So here's the question. Just how powerful is Goku nowadays? Because obviously the first two episodes, as good as they were, or as Ben would say, as good as one was and the second one just doesn't deserve to exist, they have updated their stats, their tasks, their abilities, and it makes you wonder just how powerful and strong Goku is. Now, thankfully, because of recent death battles, including Thor Vegeta, we do know, and even Gogeta, we do know at least certain abilities of Goku that we can scale to a certain extent. Like, for example, if you look at the Frieza death battle that just happened, we know that Goku's Spirit Bomb summon during the Buu Saga was way faster than light. Now, in the original one, they said that he was at best like couple times the speed of light because of Super Saiyan 4. He's way faster than that now. That's undeniable. And then power-wise, as we all know, when he clashed with Virus in the Battle of Gods movie, he was able to potentially destroy all of Universe 7 like 13 times over. And that was base level Super Saiyan God Goku. This does not include Blue plus Kaioken, and Ultra Instinct. And then you gotta include Dragon Ball Heroes and Dragon Ball Superheroes. Now, I did not look this up. And this might be my downfall should certain predictions go wrong. I did not look at this one because it's technically canon, but it's also technically not canon. It's tricky. It really is, because as we saw in the Trunks Silver death battle, they included that because that's the best version of Trunks. But technically it's not canon to the main universe, so it's honestly really tricky what they would use. And even then, if you look at what goes on in the Heroes and Superheroes universe, they go through very specific circumstances, and they have like a whole bunch of different Gokus, and even like Gogeta Vegito, as we saw in the season finale last year, and so on and so forth. And like they found a way to like match Vegito and Gogeta, in power levels and whatnot. So it's really tricky about what they would actually give Goku. So I'm not going to spend too much time looking at it, even though apparently it does give Goku some extra hacks and abilities and potentially summons. So I'm not sure if that's true, if that was just Trunks. Again, it's really ambiguous, and a lot of people who have been saying, they're including superheroes, but it won't matter. So I will, for this one, go to the community. But the point is that we know that Goku is universal, if not multiversal, depending on how you look at it. But obviously he's not the strongest out there, because we know he has been beaten before, and including in the Tournament of Power and the manga, as you saw from the Frieza episode. But still, he is one of the most incredible fighters, and he is easily one of the most determined fighters you're ever going to meet. He is someone who will never stop training, never stop getting stronger, never stop getting better. He's even said multiple times that, I could do this, but, I'd rather be fighting. Like, if you watch the Dragon Ball Super anime, he's done multiple things to try and get himself into a fight. He even hired Hit, the assassin who almost took him down, to actually try and take him down just so he could be stronger, because he knew Hit was that powerful. But that's also really stupid, because he hired a hitman to kill him. Goku! Goku! That wasn't too bad. I haven't done a King Kai impression before. Oh, Goku! But he is, as the first episode in this trilogy, I'm going to call it a trilogy, said, Goku might just be the greatest martial artist in fictional history, and that's really hard to dispute because of how good he is. All right, even when fighting gods and beings that are meant to be stronger than him, he finds a way to get the next level. He finds a way to reach deep and get something like Super Saiyan or Ultra Instinct. He just keeps going, and that's what makes Goku Goku. He's that great. I mean, yes, he's an idiot, and we love these idiots. It's anime. You have to love the idiots sometimes. In other media, not so much, because they're just idiots. But Goku is an idiot we can support, and he will always try and do the right thing and be there for his friends, for his family, for his planet, for his universe, for his multiverse, because he knows that in the end, if no one fights, everything's going to die. So will be there first time, every time, ready to fight, even when everything is on the line, even when it seems like there is no way that he can win. He'll find the way to win, because that's what Goku does. And that's why everyone likes Goku. Well, some people like Vegeta more, but most people, the smart people, like Goku, just saying. And now, Superman. Yes, we start this tale on the planet Krypton, where, despite the warnings of his father, Jor-El, do not get me started on that character and the ways he's been interpreted over the years. I mean, seriously, they made him a bad guy. Why? Anyway, despite the warnings of Jor-El, the planet Krypton was doomed, and he wanted to make sure that his son, Kal-El, would not be lost. And so he put him in a pod and sent him to Earth, because he knew that this planet would be able to both protect him, and he in turn could protect the planet because of the yellow sun radiation of the sun. Yellow sun radiation of the sun. The yellow radiation that is emitted from the sun. As a toddler and raised by the Kents, Clark Kent was made to be just a regular kid until his powers started to show, and suddenly everything came to the forefront. He learned that he was an alien. He learned that he was sent here by his father for a higher purpose, and he would eventually learn that purpose through the pod and various other means. And eventually he would reject. Initially, he would reject his powers, as we all know, creating mental blocks that he would work to get through. But even in his weakened state, he became the Superman, the hero of truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. Yes, not the American way anymore. That's never was meant to be that. But what are you gonna do? I mean, seriously, like he's supposed to be protecting the planet, not just America, but it was American comics. So anyway, but he became the Superman, the hero of Metropolis and the world, the universe, and yes, the multiverse. And because of his Kryptonian biology plus the powers of the sun, he gained a lot of interesting powers. He has almost infinitely powerful strength, infinitely incredible speed, reactions, intelligence. He can shoot heat from his eyes. He can shoot ice breath. He can use X-ray vision. He can hear you across the planet, across the universe, and more. He can retain knowledge at an incredible rate. He can just about anything you think he can do, he technically can do. Now, yes, the question is which version of Superman are we doing? And Ben did cite Infinite Frontier, which is the newest arc of the DC universe. But even then, all that did was establish that certain pre-crisis events and post-crisis events and pre-Flashpoint events, because this is DC Comics, can't be simple, are canon. And remember that technically, not technically actually, the version of Superman that we are having right now is not the one that was in the initial DC universe. It's okay. I'll be quick on this. Okay, there's pre-crisis Superman. Okay, then there's post-crisis Superman. Then there was New 52 Superman, and everyone did not like New 52 Superman. They saw him as a regression of the character. So they literally killed New 52 Superman and then imported via a cosmic event because of Crisis, the post-Crisis Superman, the one that had Lois Lane married to him, and they had a kid in Jonathan Kent. That's the Superman we're talking about, and that's the one in Infinite Frontier, the one who's had all these adventures in the multiverse and beyond. So, but as they said in the preview today, they include Superman at his peak, which is the one that can shatter the bonds of infinity and sneeze so hard that a solar system is destroyed, and he can smell brownies from North Dakota while he's up in the Justice League Watchtower. This is what he is. But let's look beyond the powers and look at the man, just like as I did with Goku, because Superman is meant to be, as weird as it sounds, the pinnacle of what humanity can be. Why? Because Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster were trying to make a hero that could represent them, a person who felt alien in a world that didn't understand them, feared them, hated them. Because remember, back in that time, anti-Semitism was rampant. World War II was eliminating the Jewish culture, and in terms of the Germans, obviously, not everybody was getting on it. Because if everyone was getting on them, then obviously they would have been eradicated. But thankfully, that didn't happen. Do not be anti-Semitic. I'm begging you, do not be anti-Semitic. Do not be like Kanye West, among other people, obviously. But they wanted someone who could represent what they felt was the idyllic hero, the perfect being, someone who was super. And so that's why Superman will always, always help people no matter what. He will always be there at a drop of a hat. He will hear you scream and he will rush to your aid because he knows that that's what you need, because he wants to be there for you. He wants to do the right thing. That's what he does. And he was raised that way by the Kents, and eventually when he heard about his father Jor-El, and the purpose that was given to him of protecting this world. And thankfully, he is there because Earth gets hurt a lot. Okay? Like, seriously. Earth gets in trouble, like, all the gosh dang time. I mean, I'm talking just from basic humans like Lex Luthor to Brainiac, who is like one of the most intelligent beings in the entire universe, to gods like Darkseid, to other gods like Zeus, and so on and so forth. Like, all the pantheons are active in DC Comics. Then there's the New Gods. There's the higher beings. There's people like Perpetua, so on and so forth. These are the beings that Superman and the rest of the crew in DC Universe have to deal with on the regular. And so Superman is literally their ace in the hole. And that's both great and not great because, as you all know from the first 2 episodes, the writers sometimes have to nerf Superman to make him compelling. It's not that he's not a compelling character. Everyone agrees he's a compelling character if you actually read his comics because of his beliefs on life and the importance of every single person. Like, everyone loves to cite the one where he talked a kid off of the ledge, literally. He could have just whisked him away. He could have just grabbed them and put them on the ground. Oh, thank you, everybody, and flew away. But no, he didn't do that because he wanted to talk to this person. He talked to this young lady. I think I was pretty sure it was a young lady, and showed that, hey, your life matters. You matter, and you deserve to live. He just uses words to talk her down, and it worked because that's who Superman is. He is the person who will talk you off the ledge as well as save you from the bullet that is flying at your head. And that's why we love Superman, because he is the person that we, in many ways, strive to be, but we always fail to live up to because, let's just be honest, we suck. I'm certainly not perfect, all right? And I've seen some of the comments you all have left me at times. You all ain't perfect. And if you look at what's going on just in the world right now, we could desperately use a Superman. And even if you look at the other media, like the cartoons, the Snyderverse. Yes, I'm saying Snyderverse, not DCEU, because we all know Snyder did it the right way. You know this is true. You know this is true. Curse you, WB, for trying to ruin those movies. And we don't talk about the Justice League. Ugh. But you see his various forms and how he understands that even he, this being that could like do whatever he wants, he's not above everybody. All right, look at the Justice League cartoon. And in the first episodes, he willingly tried to put himself out there to do everything possible for the world, even helping disable nuclear weapons because he felt that they were, with the permission of the governments, because he felt he could do more and there would be a less destructive option. And that's why he formed the Justice League when he realized he wasn't enough. But even then, he kept trying to be there for them at any given moment. Or if you look at Man of Steel, when Zod made his declaration that, Superman needed to turn himself over, he wondered if this was the right thing to do because he knew that Zod couldn't be trusted. He even said that, But as that preacher told him, sometimes you got to take a leap of faith. So what did he do? He surrendered himself to the U.S. government. That's what Superman does. I mean, he even allowed himself to be put in handcuffs, even though he snapped them off easily, because he wanted them to feel safe and to show, hey, I'm conforming to your rules because I want you to know that I am actually trying to help you. This is what Superman does. And throughout his adventures, through whatever continuity or Elseworlds or whatever, he is the person who will help you get the job done and be that epic punch to take the bad guys down. And he's taken down so many bad guys with so many powers and abilities, and it displayed feats of just pure insanity, even if you don't like the first 2 episodes because of the honest inaccuracies, and they've admitted them. But like in the Goku vs. Superman 2, he talked about how he heard a signal from the vacuum of space millions of light years away and then got back to Earth within like 10 minutes. That is physically impossible except for Superman. And that's what they noted in the preview, that his abilities defy the laws of physics. And that's the thing. Superman, as to cite the first episode, is as strong as he needs to be. Because he can be someone strong enough to defeat, like, Darkseid, or he can be someone strong enough or weak enough to be defeated by a recent Infinite Frontier beast who just happened to show up in his dimension. And yes, there were reasons why he was able to be beaten by that random person or being, but the point is, if Superman was always up here, then there's no challenge for him. Kind of like a Homelander or an Omni-Man situation where, they're here, everyone else is over here, so you're not on my level, Now, that's not to say that Superman can't be beaten, because we all know he can. It just really takes a serious circumstance to have it happen. For example, we all know about Kryptonite. That emits a special radiation that cuts off his connection to the sun, and thus he cannot get stronger and will infinitely get weaker as the kryptonite drains his solar strength. There is magic. He's not weak to magic. Common misconception. He's not weak to magic, but he doesn't have a natural resistance to it. which is why at times he will let some of the other Justice Leaguers take on magical foes that he can't beat instantly due to their magical capabilities. That's actually how the Justice League Dark formed in the New 52, because of an Enchantress going mad and being able to handle the Trinity all on her own. Yes, she could do that. So there's also the Red Sun issue, which is that negates his solar absorption and just makes him rather human. We've seen this in multiple incarnations, including the Superman animated series, where one of the villains actually reflected the sun's light so that it would become a red sun to Earth and yellow sun outside of it. So he has a limit, as Ben Singer said in his tweet. Superman has a limit. It's really, really hard to get there because of the impossibility of almost everything he does. And everyone keeps debating, is Superman infinitely strong? Technically, yes. Technically, he is, because he's done feats that involve infinity. I'm not counting the book. I know a lot of people have ways you can counter that book, but if you count the time he lifted the Spectre alongside Wonder Woman, that's lifting infinity. And he said that the Spectre canonically weighs infinity. So there you go. But even with his weaknesses, Superman will always be there to save the day because that's what is needed of him. And there are days we all wish we were Superman, and that's just the truth. So that was fun. I was saying, like, I've thought about Goku and Superman a lot, and I've watched these episodes a ton over the years. But it's interesting to do my own preview. It really is. So who wins in a fight between Goku and Superman as they are right now? It's Superman. Okay, now I fully admit, because I didn't look into Dragon Ball Heroes and Dragon Ball Superheroes that much, there is potential for hacks and abilities that Goku has. I saw one person I was doing some very, very light research, because I obviously have all this information from the past episodes and my own experiences with the characters, that he was debating heavily that the combined composite Goku, when you include heroes and superheroes, is more than enough to defeat Superman because of hacks and everything. I'm not sure that's going to apply because of some of the things he implied, but it just depends on how Death Battle interprets it. I know a lot of people are saying, but Goku has to win because it would be stupid if Superman won for a third time. But again, that's the wrong way of thinking. This isn't a proper trilogy. All right, this isn't Goku vs. Superman 2 was never supposed to be that kind. It was called the rematch of Legends. Ben hated that. Ben hated it, and it was basically implied that they were forced to do that episode because of the success of the first one. And so, and as they say, they call it the irrelevant sequel now because of outdated information and everything, because they had done the episode right when Resurrection F came out, and so they had like no real context for Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue. But even now with Ultra Instinct and everything that's going on with the manga, it's still clear that while Goku is so much stronger and so much faster than what he was in the first two episodes by a long shot, Superman is still faster and better. And here's why. And I know this line ticks off a lot of people, but it's Goku has a limit, and then he breaks the limit every time. Superman has no limit. He just constantly gets stronger with exposure to the yellow sun. So the question is, can Goku take away his connection to the sun? No. No. Yes, he could teleport him to another planet, but that would be cheating in many ways, and Goku does not like cheating. And we've seen that in so many arcs, including in Dragon Ball Super, where he has constantly pushed himself to say, I want you to be at your best, so I can beat you at your best. All right? That's canon across all the timelines. The second thing is that Goku would not know about the sun because it's not obvious. Superman does not say something and say, hey, I am powered by the sun. If you take me away from the sun, I cannot fight you. Not to mention, Goku inherently would want Superman to be powered by the sun just so that he could beat him. All right? Second, would Ultra Instinct matter? No, it wouldn't, and here's why. First of all, while Ultra Instinct is powerful and Goku has mastered a version of it, the true Ultra Instinct still eludes him, which is proven in the last manga arc with the Granola the Survivor. That is such a stupid name. Granola the Survivor arc. Okay, and going on to that, Granola the Survivor was able to beat Goku and Vegeta in Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego. And then Gas, who was wished by the Dragon Balls and the Eternal Dragon, not our Shenron, but one of the Eternal Dragons, to be the strongest warrior in the universe. and Goku and Vegeta could not beat them, even in Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego. And then Black Frieza showed up because he was in a hyperbolic time chamber training for a decade, and Black Frieza far surpassed Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego. And that's not even including the Broly of this equation. Yes, you forgot about Broly, didn't you? Broly was able to whip Dadak. He was causing such pain to Super Saiyan God that that Goku was screaming in pain. That's how much power Broly had in one of his base forms. All right, he wasn't even the super legendary Super Saiyan. Super legendary Super Saiyan. Ugh, words. At that time, and it took Vegito Blue. Wait, hold on. Sorry, no, Gogeta Blue. Vegeta was Zamasu arc. So Gogeta Blue to win, and that's not enough. Like, first of all, he won't get Gogeta. That would be outside help because he would have to summon Vegeta. Yes, I know summons are part of Dragon Ball Heroes, but that's a different thing. And even then, you could argue that even with Gogeta Blue, or Vegito Blue, if you want to summon the other one, it wouldn't be enough. It just wouldn't be enough. Why? Because Superman is infinite in many, many respects, and his powers are insane. And while Goku can absolutely put up a good fight against him, it wouldn't really matter. Plus, Ultra Instinct, Superman has that. Superman has it as a technique called Torcosm Rao. Remember that from the first episode? It helps him go into the theta state, which basically helps him react on instinct. Ultra Instinct. So he could counter that quite easily. Plus, and this is something that has not changed across the timeline, Goku cannot breathe in space. So if Superman really wanted to, all he would have to do is fly to the sun and stay there, and Goku can't do jack. And as they stated in the first episode, Goku could theoretically blow up the sun or the universe, but Superman could stop him before doing that, or just survive it. Yeah. And here's another thing to consider. When you look at the beings that Goku has faced, especially in the main canon, there have always been a limit, mainly from the gods, including Beerus and Whis. Yes, Whis is an angel, but still. Or even Grand Zeno, who was able to wipe out multiverses on his own. So, Goku is not on the level of Beerus or Zeno. He couldn't even beat Jiren with a early phase of Ultra Instinct, and it required Goku, Frieza, and Android 17 to take down Jiren in the Tournament of Power. Okay, and Superman is easily universal, multiversal, possibly omniversal, depending on how much sun power he absorbs. And remember, they said in the preview, we're looking at his peak. So even with all the advancements, even with all the hacks, all the abilities, and Goku doesn't have magic, so that wouldn't help him either. He only has the power pole, which, as the first episode showed, Superman could easily take away. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It's not enough. Superman is faster, Superman is stronger, Superman is more endurant, and Goku will wear down. This gets lost all the time, all right? And this goes back to Thor versus Vegeta. His ki has a limit. His abilities have a limit, and the longer the fight goes, the more that Goku would be in danger of tiring out and losing in all of his ki. Yes, even with Senzu beans, that wouldn't work all the time because Superman could just take them away, all right? And Vegeta, at his peak in the Tournament of Power, lasted about 40 minutes of nonstop fighting. Superman can fight for so much longer against top-tier beings. Not to mention, Superman has defeated gods, including Darkseid, and you know how infinitely powerful he is. So, when you add this all up, the result remains the same. Superman beats Goku. I'm sorry. It's just the truth. But it's so satisfying for me to say it in this preview video. So, with that, I'm ending this episode of Todd Talk. Who do you think is going to win between Goku and Superman? How excited are you for this fight? If you haven't seen the preview yet, it is available for everyone. Go check it out. I'm very curious about how this is all going to go. So, let me know in the comments below. uh, I'm seriously excited for this fight. I really am. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. And I'm very curious what the finale will be. I'm predicting Columbo. So, thank you for watching. I know you were listening. I'll see you around.